May I introduce John Rogers, the Chief Executive and founder of the Association of Disability Driving Instructors. So John, what is Disability Driving Instructors, or DDI?
Okay, hello to you all. Disability Driving Instructors is a not-for-profit community interest company that was set up in 2017. It provides an online information and advice service for disabled people who want to learn to drive for the first time or get back to driving after accident or illness. That service is openly available to anybody who needs to use it, and it is free of charge to the end user. We're catering for people with physical disabilities, people with learning difficulties and developmental conditions, and we're also catering for people who are hard of hearing or maybe are profoundly deaf. Now, the association is supported by an online website and includes a postcode searchable register of specialist driving instructors who can teach these people how to drive. We at Disability Driving Instructors, we help the disabled people who are wanting to learn to drive, all right, but we're also there to support the driving instructors who are going to be teaching them how to drive.
What is a specialist driving instructor?
Okay, well, a specialist driving instructor may be a mobility instructor who is helping people with their physical disabilities. It may be a specific educational needs instructor, or SEN, who's helping people with learning difficulties and developmental conditions, or it may be a deaf-aware driving instructor who is helping people with hearing difficulties and people who are profoundly deaf. And that instructor may be taking things a stage further and maybe be able to communicate with the deaf person using sign language or British Sign Language.
How do you help driving instructors become specialists?
Okay, to do this, we are providing training and support for the ADIs. We have been providing training courses for ADIs for the past 3 years. We've been providing, in that time, we've been concentrating on special educational needs and helping people with physical disabilities. And we are now developing that a stage further by running our very first deaf awareness course, which will be going live towards the end of this year, 2025. We're always exploring ways that we can take this further, and we are looking to see if we can develop an accreditation scheme whereby the instructors are able to demonstrate the training that they have received and how they've put that training into practice to provide the necessary tuition for these groups of people. That is something in the future, is constantly evolving.
How does Disability Driving Instructors promote the services of specialist driving instructors?
Okay, well, we are the go-to site for anybody that is looking for a specialist ADI. We have a website and an ADI register that continues to receive very healthy numbers of visitors. And the Find an Instructor page regularly receives 2,500 visitors per month. So it is a very, very, very busy site. In addition to the inquiries coming via the website, we also receive about 45 email inquiries a month and about 50 telephone inquiries a month. And most of those are from people who are looking for specialist driving instructors. To enter onto the ADI register, the current charge is £30 a year for the loan entry or £50 a year for the full page entry. So you can get yourself onto the ADI register for very little money. That's £30. It's the cost of 1 hour's driving lessons. Yeah, £50. Yeah, it's less than 2 hours driving lessons. So it's next to nothing. Okay. We regularly get referrals from other organisations, from DVSA, from DVLA, from Driving Mobility, and from Motability. If these organisations are contacted by people looking for specialist driving instructors, then they very often just refer them through to disability driving instructors. Okay, so we get a lot of referrals from that source. We also are regularly contacted by healthcare professionals who are contacting us directly looking for specialist instructors to help their clients.
What other benefits does disability driving instructors provide for ADIs?
Okay, so the online information and advice service is freely available to everybody, and that includes the disabled people, as we've already said, right? But it also includes the ADI. Okay, so if the ADI has got a question, a technical question about somebody's fitness to drive, a technical question about somebody's licensing requirements, yeah, they can go online and they can usually find the information. Right, but we also support ADIs by providing one-to-one advice. So if somebody can't find the information on the website, they can send me an email, they can get on the phone and ask me a question. There's always somebody who can answer that. In addition to that, we have a sister Facebook page, ADIs with and for disability, right? And that is always available for ADIs to ask questions and get a sensible answer from a group of supportive ADIs who are willing to give up their time to answer other ADIs' questions. Okay. We also liaise regularly with the DVSA to ensure that pupils' special needs are catered for, and to ensure that ADIs follow the correct processes when they are presenting pupils for test and in preparation for presenting pupils for test. We can also support ADIs if problems occur, and we will negotiate to hopefully ensure that the problems do not reoccur. This applies to both theory and practical tests. Okay, now we can also help support clients who have problems with DVLA, okay, the licensing agency, especially if there are problems with regard to medical requirements and with regard to license coding issues. Okay, so we're there to support, we're there to liaise, we're there to give advice. So, disability driving instructors can provide the necessary training and development for ADIs who wish to specialise in helping people with special needs. We can promote the services of those driving instructors amongst the community that need their services, and we can provide continuing information and advice to both the disabled person and to the ADI who's going to be teaching them. There is a continuing need for more specialist driving instructors in this niche area of the industry. To give you just one statistic, out of 39,500 ADIs that are currently on the DVSA register, it is estimated that only just over 150 of those were providing tuition for disabled people in adapted tuition cars. That's less than half of 1%. We desperately need more instructors to provide that sort of tuition. We are able to help instructors with their training and development. We're then able to help instructors with getting their cars adapted so that they can do this sort of training. Yeah. We have recently had a situation where we've been looking for an instructor in very high population areas, and trying to find an instructor in Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire, Buckinghamshire is almost impossible at the present moment, trying to find an instructor with an adapted car. So we need more people out there training. An ADI teaching disabled people to drive, whether it's somebody with physical disability, somebody with learning difficulties, somebody with hearing difficulties, it may be very hard work for the instructor, but it is very, very, very rewarding for the instructor when they succeed at the end of the journey of learning to drive. Achieving independent mobility is very often life-changing for anybody, but even more so for somebody who is disabled. You could be the instructor who makes the difference and makes that possible for that disabled person. And diversifying into this area of tuition is likely to give the ADI much, much more job satisfaction. Okay, so if you're interested, come and join us, right? Because the benefits are helping the individual who wants to learn to drive. It helps the ADI by providing them with a source of income, right? And it gives the ADI a lot more job satisfaction. So, thank you very much for listening. Look forward to seeing you in the future.